Have you ever tried to run the bottom at a racetrack and you just can't figure it out? Or when you do run it, you wonder why you're so slow? Well, if that sounds like you, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to show you how to run the bottom consistently and fast. So you don't have to play follow the leader around the top and you can actually pass some cars when you're running in the feature. So all of that and more right after this. What's up everybody, Thomas Brandon here. Welcome to another School of Sim Racing video. Now, if this is your first time joining me, what we typically do here is I show you different ways to improve your experience, right? Whether it's setups or driving techniques, car control, whatever. So you can go out and hopefully have a much better time when you are racing in iRacing. Now, in this video, we're going to be covering a topic that I see a lot of people struggle with, even experienced, very skilled drivers, and that is how to run the bottom. When the track gets slick, one of the biggest problems that I see is when people go to the bottom, they have a hard time being smooth and being consistent. Not just, being not are they just slow, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just not fast down there, I feel slow. The problem is if you go into a test session and you practice on the bottom and then you practice on the top and you look at the lap times, you're going to be like, dude, my lap times are way faster on the top. When you get into a real race session, it's completely different because with the dynamic track state, you're going to notice that the top is going to go away way faster. It's just going to get blown off a lot of times. And so there is usually a very good opportunity towards the, middle, especially from the middle to the end of the feature, where you can run on the bottom or even through the middle and be fast. Those of you who just watched the video that I put out of the league race we had at Williams Grove, I was running through the middle at 3 and 4. Had I figured that out sooner in the race, I probably would have done better than a 4th place finish. I mean, 4th place is still good, but I probably could have gotten a top 3. Okay, so being able to do this is key, and don't worry about your lap times because, like I said, in a real race, you're going to notice that you are much faster than the competition a lot of times. All right. Yes, there will be those people, those aliens who rip the rail, right? Just rip the lip, don't move, completely smooth. We're not worried about them right now. All right. The vast majority of us have a long ways to go until we get to that point. I'm talking about basically the other 90% of dirt drivers in iRacing. All right. Now, really quick, before I show you how to do this and I show you the setup that I'm using to do this, and you guys will be able to see the setup. I'll walk you through it and everything. And this is not it's titled how to drive bottom, the setup, but this is not a specific setup for just driving the bottom. If you want to actually use this setup at Lernerville, it works. It'll work on the top, on the bottom. This is a setup that I've given drivers before. Lots of drivers use this. I've used this setup. It works. Okay. So let's take a look at what most people do when they're running the bottom. The issue that most people have is they don't get their entry correct. All right, and I say this all the time when I'm working with drivers, whether it's one-on-one in a video like this or in a group training or whatever. Your corner speed is 90% entry, and the reason why it's 90% entry is because everything is based off your entry. If you have a horrible entry, it's very difficult to have a good apex or middle and then a good exit. It's almost impossible to. All right, so you've got to get the entry correct. Most drivers mess up on the entry. Now you can see this is an extremely slick track. We're not doing this on a 20% track. That would be easy. We're doing this on a slick track. This is what you're going to be seeing like at the end of a feature, right? There's barely any bottom left here. So when we're doing this, or when I see drivers doing this, what I see drivers doing is this. They go into the corner and they're turning, and they over rotate. Or what they do is they'll come in straight, they turn, and then they're turning too much, and then from the center out, they're snapping around. Or they'll actually do okay on the entry, they'll do this, and then as they're speeding up, they get all sideways, like the tail starts whipping on them because they're still having to turn from the middle out. All right, you don't want to be having to turn left by the time you get to the center of the corner. Okay, by the time you're at the apex, you should be either turning right, counter steering, or not turning at all. And the best way to do it is to not turn at all. Okay, now before I show you how we do that, let me show you the setup real quick. Now this setup is one that I have ran before. This is a bottom dominant setup. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is I would set the car up like this if I was planning on going to the bottom in the feature. Okay, it'll still run the top, it'll still run the middle, but it will work best on the bottom. All right, that's the thing that you have to understand. When it comes to setting up your car, if you sell out for one line over the other, understand that if it works on the other, in the other lines, that's great, but it's not going to work as well there. For those of you who watched the race that I did at where was that at? Volusia. A while back. It was an official race. I had my car. I sold out for the top. I started on the pole, was running away with it. Caution comes out. Dude catches up with me. He's got his car working on the bottom, and he passed me. He passed me, like just flat out. Dude beat me. Tipped my cap. He got me. Okay. My car was sold out for the top. Happened again a couple weeks later at Knoxville. Same exact situation. I sold out for the top. My car was fast. A caution came out. Dude ran me down. Under the after the caution came out, stuck with me. His car was working like gangbusters on the bottom. When I tried to go to the bottom, my car just didn't work as well. He just got away from me. So that's the thing that you got to understand. It's not right or wrong. It's a trade-off. Okay. Yes, there are ways to have it balanced where it'll work good all over, but it won't be awesome on one line and average on the other. It'll be like good all over. Okay, so that's always the trade-off that we're looking at. This one, like I said, is really designed to run the bottom. And when you look at it, you can see we're running 50,000 split. All right, now I've got 10 1/4 bars on the right with 975s on the left, so 50,000 split. We've got a 6.3 shock on the right front, a 5.4 on the left front, a 4.5 over 5.5 on the right rear, and a 3.9 on the left rear. I'm really trying to get this thing to wing over and stay that way. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because I'm not going to be turning the car with the wheel. I'm going to be turning the car with the throttle and the brake. And the brake is something that a lot of drivers they just don't understand. Most drivers think the brake is for stopping the car or for just, slowing it down. It's not. You can do so much with the brake. The brake is one of the most powerful tools that you can have in your arsenal. Knowing how to use the brake can save you so many times out there. It really can. I'm going to show you right now. So that's our setup. And also you can see I've got 16, we're doing this with feature fuel, feature gear. I've got the wing where I would have it at the start of a race. I mean, it's set up legit. I'm not trying to, I'm not doing 5 gallons of fuel to make it easy for me. I mean, this is what we would be running in a 30-lap feature at Lernerville in the 360s. Okay, so you can see I've got my steering wheel and my my brake and my gas up here. Okay, so you can keep an eye on that. Now, the first thing that you got to get good at is you got to get good at basically being ambidextrous with your gas and brake, okay? You need to be good at using both of them at the same time. A lot of people are used to just driving with one foot, and like if they're not on the gas, then they're on the brake, but they're not using both together, and you want to get good at doing that, all right? So this is how we do this. When you drive in, you're going to be pushing down the brake, dragging the brake, and then you're using the brake to correct the car. See how I did that? Come down, you're tapping the brake, you're giving it gas, you're giving it both. You're using the brake to control the car. That makes the car much more stable, and it also keeps the suspension loaded so the car doesn't get all out of whack. When you just come in, let off the throttle, see how the car just slides? You don't want to do that. We want the suspension to load. And then we can get back on the throttle. And as you get better at doing this, right? And in the beginning, just work on getting through the corners. You're not trying to set fast time or nothing. You're just trying to get good at doing it and being smooth, right? Just work on braking, getting the car in there, rolling the bottom, and then rolling back into the throttle. You can use this technique also if you want to drive the middle of the track, right? If you just want to go through the slick. Got a little too sideways coming out of the corner there, but see how you do that? See how by the center of the corner, I'm not turning to the left, I'm turning to the right. If I need the car to turn more to the left, I just tap the brake. The brake will help rotate the car, all right? And it will do it in a way that is much less twitchy than if you're doing this with the wheel, all right? I know in real life, sprint car drivers are working the wheel like crazy. In the sim world, we don't want to do that, okay? It causes all kinds of problems, all right? So, work on doing this. You're going to go in, and as you roll out of the throttle, you're going to roll into the brake. Just work on getting to the center and then getting out. You're not trying to be fast. Roll in, get the car rotated, and then roll back out, or roll out of the, roll out of the throttle. Get it in. See how I did that? Just nice and easy in the beginning. If you mess up, that's okay, right? And in the beginning, when you're doing it, don't worry so much about your speed or how much momentum. Don't worry about that. Right now, you're just trying to get the entry correct, and you're just. Oh, I cut that too short. Apparently, it's amazing. I cannot drive and talk at the same time sometimes. You're just trying to get you're just trying to get the muscle memory, right? The muscle memory, positional memory, whatever you want to call it, of that point where the car is going to rotate and you've got the throttle still down to where you're maintaining some speed and your traction, and then you can get back on the throttle, roll back into the gas from the center out, all right? That's all you're trying to do. Because once you get to that point, then you can start working on picking up the speed. And making adjustments on the fly. I shouldn't have taken my hand off the wheel. Making adjustments on the fly. Keep my hands on the wheel. Making adjustments on the fly with the brake. And then you can really work on getting down there. Whoops, getting down there. Caught the lip there. Getting down to the bottom and staying in that, and then work on getting back into the throttle and carrying speed. All right. Now, when you're ready to go to the next level, Okay, when you get to a point where you're able to do that on the bottom and you're pretty decent at it, right? You're pretty smooth. You might not be the fastest, but you're pretty smooth. The next step to getting really good at it is to actually do it through the slick. And find that point that you can maintain traction, speed, and control of the car with the brake and the throttle. See that time? I didn't rotate it enough, and then I got on the throttle too much coming out. Whoa! All right. And then the third and final step. So step number 1 is just getting used to going into the corner, rolling out of the throttle, doing some brake, right? What I call trail braking. Some people call power braking. Getting the car to rotate, and then from the center out, rolling back into the gas and coming out the corner. Just getting smooth and consistent with that. Once you can do that, then you can actually move up to the slick and you can start being a little bit more aggressive with both the brake and the throttle to find that point where the car maintains speed and traction, all right, where you can maintain control of it, okay? Then the third and final step to doing this is putting all of that together that you've learned and trying different lines, because there's more than one way to run the bottom, all right? There's a lot more way. I mean, most people think that running the bottom is just rolling the bottom. No, you can try a higher entry and then diamonding off the bottom. You can try coming in really low and tight and sliding up to the middle, right? And all of these have to do with situations, whether there might be a car outside of you, or you're trying to pass somebody, right? Or maybe you're just searching for a line and looking for something faster, okay? Those are all different ways to run the bottom. So maybe you want to really sweep down on it, get down like this, and then come in, right? Like that. Or maybe you've got someone outside of you and you got to really cut down and roll it, right? Roll it really, really tight. Or maybe you're going to come down and you're going to slide up in front of somebody. All right, whatever it is, and that's enough demonstration. Whatever it is, right? If you practice this, you'll be able to do it in a race setting. There's too many times that I see drivers who, when they're on the track racing, when they catch another car or another car catches them, it's almost like they don't know what to do. They make a mistake because it's like they had their line, they were comfortable, and now they've got to make a change and they don't know how to change it. And it's the same thing on the bottom. If you're running the bottom and the car in front of you is running the bottom and you catch them, well, how are you going to pass them, right? If you're both running the same line, you've got to be able to do something. And that's where those techniques like I just showed you come in, where you can maybe sweep down and cut underneath them if they're sliding up. Or maybe they're doing that where they're sweeping down. So maybe you can actually get underneath them before they sweep down and you can just roll it and cut them off, right? There's different ways to do it. And being able to do that and do it on the fly like that, right? Just by instinct, just reflex. That's what's going to separate you from all the other drivers, especially those that struggle. And that's when you'll start seeing yourself climb, not just in the results, but with your I rating, in the points, whatever it is. Okay? So that's going to do it all for this video. Now, really quick before I go, do me a favor. If you like this, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is just awesome. It's so incredible, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I mean, the fact that you share this, that you subscribe to it, and all of it's just awesome, man. I really, really appreciate it. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. All right, and then share this with other drivers that you know. There's a lot of dirt drivers out there that are struggling, that need help, particularly in the sprint cars. The winged sprint cars are the most popular dirt cars, especially the 360s. So if you see drivers struggling, tell them about this, share it with them. You got those Facebook groups or whatever, put it in those groups, share it. Get it to as many drivers as possible. Like I always say, let's go out and have a fun, clean race together without people slamming into each other. Not because they're horrible people, just because they haven't learned how to do this stuff. There's not a whole lot of this type of stuff out there. So share it with as many people as you know and you can. All right, so that way everybody can get better. Also, if you want to join the School of Sim Racing, there's a link down in the description below. You can join our Discord there. We have a ton of exclusive trainings that you cannot find anywhere else. Plus, you can also get my setups for free. I give a lot of setups away for free, and not just for sprint cars. There's midgets, non-wing sprints, late models, you name it. We've got setups there that you can have for free. I just give them to you. All right. And then if you want to join me when I do my live stream on Twitch, click the link down in the description below and make sure you head over and follow me on my Twitch channel. I'm going to be live streaming at minimum 2 days a week. I'm trying to get to 3 days a week, but at minimum 2 days a week. It's going to be at night on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights when we run our league. And this coming week, we're going to be doing our Let's Race 2, where we're running 360 wing sprints and 410 non-wing sprints back to back on Wednesday and Thursday nights. So if you want to join me for my live stream where you actually can sit with me in the cockpit while I'm running these races, all of it, behind the scenes, everything, make sure you follow me on my Twitch channel. And last but not least, I've got a brand new masterclass coming up. I'm putting the finishing touches on it as we speak. And if you would do me a favor, click the link down in the description below or go to schoolofsimracing.net/masterclass. And masterclass is all one word. There you're going to find a really quick survey. It's one question, okay? It's just one question. And the one question is, what is the biggest, your one big problem, right? The number one problem that you have that you want to improve. I'm trying to make sure that I can help as many people as possible, that I don't leave anything out, and that the biggest issues that people are having, I cover them in this masterclass. So that way the greatest amount of people who want to be in this training are going to get the greatest amount of value possible. So if that sounds like something you might be interested, please head over to schoolofsimracing.net/masterclass. I'll have a link for you down in the description below for that as well. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, as always, I want to wish you good luck and good racing. Take care.